Shocking footage emerged of two women tearing down posters of innocent Israeli children taken hostage by Hamas, with one of the women shouting, "This is for Palestine." This footage went viral yesterday, didn't it? There we go, we can see it happening right now. Well, the British-Israeli woman who filmed the encounter has revealed she received verbal abuse while putting the flyers up in North London. Neta Fibeesh fled Israel for Britain just days ago, but is now scared to show her Jewish faith in public. Joining me now is the student who filmed that very incident, the lady I was talking about there, Neta Fibeesh. Thank you very much for joining me. How are you?
I'm okay as can be, yeah.
Okay, could you just talk me through what happened then? So these posters were put up, and what did the posters show, and then what went on after that?
So essentially they were flyers which showed pictures of hostages which have been kidnapped by Hamas, including babies as young as several months old and elderly people, essentially innocent civilians. And what we did is basically follow an initiative which started in New York, which involves basically hanging up these flyers around London to, one, raise awareness and increase international pressure to try and free these hostages, and two, to gain international recognition of Hamas as a terrorist organization. And
yeah, and then talk me through what happened then. So then these ladies turned up, did they?
Yes, so we each got assigned an area. There are approximately 42 areas around London. I was assigned to Morrington Crescent, and I was hanging up the flyers. And after several different incidents, including ones which I didn't catch on camera, three people, I didn't manage to catch all three of them in the video, came and they started tearing down the leaflets. One of them came up to me, he stuck his middle finger up at me whilst shouting "Free Palestine," very aggressively. And then I saw somebody else, an onlooker, filming, so I quickly got my phone out and filmed the second half of the incident, which is what you can see in the video.
Okay, so yeah, talk to me a little bit more about the things that you didn't manage to get on camera then. So you were aggressively approached, were you? And did this happen quite quickly? And can you just tell me how that made you feel? Because we do live in a free country, we do live in a multicultural country, and we do live in the kind of country where you should be able to put flyers up without immediately being abused like that.
So when we were given guidelines on hanging up the flyers, we were given several safety tips, including only hanging up the flyers in groups. And I was waiting for my parents to join me, but I decided to start leafleting anyway. And I was a bit stressed, so I folded the flyers over, and I was following the guidelines of just not making eye contact and quickly doing it. But obviously you still get attention whilst you're doing it because people are curious what you're hanging up. So a man approached me and he asked me what I was hanging up. He read the leaflet and he started shouting at me that this is karma for the Jewish people. They've gotten what they've deserved. Their people have brought this upon themselves. And I didn't engage because I was by myself, and also I've been in Israel this week and I managed to get back 2 days ago, and I just didn't have the emotional capacity to deal with the interaction. And afterwards my mum joined me, and we started flying over the tube station, and that's when the three people came up, which started with one of them putting his middle finger up at me and getting very near me. And
Okay, and how do you feel about walking the streets now or visibly demonstrating your faith? I don't know, I can't really quite make out. I mean, if there's some kind of necklace there with a Jewish symbol on it, I don't know if that's what that is, but I know people personally who have decided to take those off today, for example. So how are you feeling about that?
So I'm not currently wearing anything which visually distinguishes me as Jewish, but obviously inherently it's a very stressful situation because we're talking about sympathy for a terrorist organization, which is basically sympathy for extremist fundamentalist actions, it's a lack of compassion for war crimes and crimes against humanity which have been committed against innocent civilians, and an intolerance to accept the fact that this conflict is immensely two-sided, and if you're an advocate for human rights, then you are knowledgeable of the fact that both sides have legitimacy. And it's just stressful. It's stressful to be around people who put their hatred for a specific group of people above their own moral compass and their own rational political views. I don't understand how putting up pictures of innocent children and elderly people who have been not only murdered and kidnapped, but also tortured in just atrocious ways. I don't understand how that harms the Free Palestine movement. It's beyond my understanding. I just think the hatred is above people's own ability to rationally understand the situation.
Can I just ask you quickly, final question? We've heard calls for this, whatever this means, this global day of jihad and stuff, and we've seen demonstrations in London recently and other parts of the UK. What are you and your family and your community feeling like as tonight approaches? Will you be going out?
We have plans to take part in several initiatives which are helping people who are trying to currently escape from Israel, so we will be doing that. But it's obviously extremely stressful. There are Jewish schools who are not opening until Monday because they're worried about this situation. When I stepped off the plane, when I landed on a flight back from Israel, and I got given a flyer which is from the Met Police, which is basically tips on how to cope with terrorist attacks, and also Met Police officers were there to provide support for people who were returning, and also people in the UK who are worried about any upcoming terrorist attacks. The CST, which is an organisation which essentially works closely with the police in order to address anti-Semitism in the UK, is on increased surveillance. And
Look, thank you for coming and talking to us and having the bravery to put yourself forward like this as well. Good luck, all the best to you and your family, and I do hope to talk to you again very, very soon.